Yo, yo, what's good, soul family? Coming to you from Mallorca, Spain right now, and just feeling inspired. It's been a while since I've kind of laid out an up-to-date view on where I'm at with the global lockdown situation, the unprecedented, crazy situation we're in. So feeling inspired, a little bit caffeinated, and feel like kind of laying things out here. So where I'm at first and foremost, which has not changed since the early days, is that I do have this deep-rooted, almost unshakable trust and faith in life. I feel that on the deepest level, everything is okay at all times, and you can completely trust in life, trust God, trust the mystery, trust in what is happening. So I trust this unfoldment, and I think this entire thing is a very powerful awakening force and a powerful teacher in a lot of ways. So there's that feeling, which I want to establish as foundational. That's my most foundational, deepest view on the matter and on sort of life in general. I feel that this is all orchestrated by a divine intelligence, and all is well, and nothing can actually harm us in our essence. Our essence is indestructible God nature, Buddha nature, whatever you want to call it, formless beingness. But with that established as the foundation, let's just zoom in a little bit into the relative to say that, here we are 10, 11 months now into this unprecedented global lockdown. I've now been in Europe for several weeks, and to my somewhat dismay, have found the lockdown to be more intense here in Germany and Spain than, I spent a lot of the year in Mexico, which is one of the places that kept things on the lighter side. So I didn't feel the effects of the lockdown as intensely in the last months, but I feel the intensity in Europe, and I feel how there's this growing sense now, which is what I spoke about from the early days, which I was concerned about. There's this growing sense that I have, and I think that a lot of people have, that it's going to be very difficult to go back to normal at this point. We're now 10 or 11 months into this global media fear propaganda campaign, and that's not to say, mind you, that's not to say that I feel the entire thing is a hoax. My heart goes out to those affected by corona, those who've died from it or who've had family members pass. I see that, I honor that. I'm not saying that the entire thing is a hoax. However, the way we've responded to this entire thing, I feel, we have to look deeply at what are we sacrificing? What are we sacrificing in the name of quote unquote safety, supposed safety? We're now 10 or 11 months into living in a way that I don't think any of us deep down really want to live, in a way where we're increasingly in this paranoid situation where everyone is locked inside. People are afraid to be close to each other, afraid to touch each other's hands, afraid to hug each other, afraid to go outside without wrapping their face in cloth, and, afraid to travel. And so the fundamental question is, what are we sacrificing in the name of safety? What are we sacrificing at the altar of attempting to slow the spread of a virus that, to this day, 99.9% of people on Earth either have not gotten or have recovered just fine from? A virus that predominantly affects and kills people who, let's be honest, were already pretty close to dying, either in a condition of being very sick already or very old. If we look at this without the filter of the fear of death, if we don't view death as this big, bad, scary, grim reaper that our culture tends to view it as, then the whole thing starts to look rather absurd. If we instead were to see death as a very natural part of life, a beautiful thing, simply a transition to the next adventure, the next stage of the journey, then from that perspective, I think this whole thing looks rather tragic. Because what have we done? On this planet, billions of people live paycheck to paycheck. How are you going to press the pause button on entire economies globally for several months when billions of people live paycheck to paycheck? The economic devastation and despair, the effect on mental health is enormous. There was a giant protest erupting here in Spain just the other day where people are demanding more assistance from the government, because people are starving. People are going stir crazy. People are losing their minds. We're not meant to be living like this. We're not meant to be living so cut off from each other. We're not meant to be disconnected, not able to gather. Someone just told me that you can get a 30,000 euro fine on this island right now if you gather with more than a few people. What is that? What is that? How have we given the state this monopoly on violence where they can literally threaten us and tell us you can't gather with more than a few people, or we'll literally slap you with debt slavery that you might be paying off for the rest of your life? Or maybe they'll just, lock you in a cage. And so now, we were told from the beginning, let's just lock things down for a few weeks to flatten the curve, and then things can go back to normal. Well, now here we are 10, 11 months in, and now there's talk of, they're identifying new strains, and so there needs to be a second wave, new lockdowns. And the thing is, there's always going to be more strains. There's always going to be more diseases. Millions of people were dying of sickness and disease on planet Earth every year since God knows when, in recent decades and centuries. This is just a very natural part of life on Earth at this stage of human evolution, that people get sick and die. So now that we've all been conditioned into this lockdown culture, this socially distanced culture, this paranoid culture, how much easier is it going to be for us to continue along this trajectory? That is the concern of those of us who care deeply about fundamental freedoms, like the freedom to gather in large numbers, the freedom to have community events, the freedom to hug family members, be with family members, the freedom to go outside, walk around, not live in fear, not wear a mask all the time, to travel this beautiful planet of ours. What are we sacrificing, and what is it going to take for us to go to reclaim those freedoms now? Day by day, it grows more and more difficult. What is it going to take for us to reclaim the freedom to open our small businesses and actually share our gifts locally with the world? How many small businesses have been absolutely crushed and bankrupted and pushed out by this entire thing? It's just it's astonishing. What have we sacrificed? That's the fundamental question. And what are we continuing to sacrifice? And is this really worth it? Do we really want to live this way? What dream do we want to dream on this planet? As I said, what we are fundamentally cannot be harmed by what happens in this world. In that sense, this world is akin to a dream that we're all collectively dreaming together, and we have tremendous power, more power than we realize, to co-create the dream that we wish to dream. And so do we want to dream a reality where everyone is living in fear, afraid to be close to each other, policing each other, witch hunting each other, where everyone has to cover their faces all the time? You don't see people's faces anymore, where everyone locks themselves at home, no one travels, where there's no large events, where there's no festivals and parties, it's the Beastie Boys, fight for your right to fucking party. Like, what did we come to Earth to do? Did we come to Earth to live in fear and die a slow, frightening death watching the news, locked in our little apartment, wrapped in bubble wrap? Like, that's not why the fuck I came to Earth. And if I was an 85-year-old man and someone said, do you want us to lock down the world and fucking shut down everyone's fundamental freedoms to try to add a few years to your life because there's a virus on the loose? I guarantee you, I would say, fuck no. Fuck no, don't do that. You shitting me? No. So, anyway, y'all, that I think kind of encapsulates the essence of where I'm at right now with everything. As I said, I trust in what is happening. I trust life. I trust nature. All is well. And at the same, and I trust that this is a powerfully awakening force. It's opening up new channels of creativity and imagination as the mainstream society life is revealed to be increasingly neurotic and intolerable. People are asking, okay, where do I need to move to live in some kind of eco-village, eco-commune? Where do I need to live where people are operating in a different paradigm? So, there are a lot of hidden upsides and gifts within this entire thing. But when it comes to, the character that I am incarnated as in this lifetime and what that character is here to do, I love freedom. I'm here to be free, sing songs, be merry, be joyful, play, co-create together, and enjoy this human experience to the fullest, not live in fear and hide in fear. And so, when I see the massive pendulum swing that's happened in the direction of conforming to this lockdown paradigm, this kind of eternal quarantine, socially distanced culture paradigm, it is very clear in the heart of the character that is Jordan Bates that it's time to drop breadcrumbs in the other direction and ask people, like, wait, before you do that, ask, what are you sacrificing? What are we sacrificing? And so, that's what I've been doing for months now, since the early days of this entire thing. And that's what I'm doing now. So just to give y'all that synopsis of where I'm at with everything, it's a wild time to be alive. As they say, never waste a good crisis. Within crises, there are great opportunities, and I think that is definitely the case now. We have a beautiful, powerful, deep opportunity to look at the fundamental DNA of our civilization, go back to first principles and ask, how do we really want to live on this planet? What kind of world do we want to create? What dream do we want to collectively dream together? Maybe the most unprecedented opportunity in hundreds of years to do that. And so, just ask yourselves, what are we sacrificing? Do we want to keep moving this way? What dream do we want to dream together? Who am I? What is true? What is life? What is death? What is sickness? What is fear? What do we truly have to fear? Why are we living this way? And, whatever your views on the whole thing, I love you. I respect you. I respect your right to your perspective. I feel we're all doing the best we can at our current level of awareness. All I'm doing here is speaking my truth about these matters, and I invite and encourage everyone to do the same. And rock on, keep rocking the free world, fight for your right to party, and let's see where we're heading on this crazy ride. It's a wild life. It's a beautiful life. Enjoy, play, have fun. I love you.